is a lot about the structure of the exam and how the scores are put together to reach an overall total. It's two parts. Multiple choice is worth 50 points possible, so half of the total exam possible. You get 1.25 points for each correct answer. Basically, there's 40 questions. It gets scaled to 50 by multiplying by 1.25. And you want to answer all the questions. Unlike some exams, like the current SAT, there's no penalty for guessing. In some exams, you might lose a quarter point or something like that for every wrong answer. But that's not the case with AP Statistics. You want to answer every single question. There's no penalty for guessing at all. The free response is also worth 50 points, half the grade. And it's divided into two parts. Well, actually, backing up for a second, it's 0 to 4 on each question. And there are integer scores, so you get a 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. The questions 1 through 5 are intended to be a little bit shorter, and they're each multiplied by 1.875 to get a total of 37.5 points for questions 1 through 5 together. Question 6 is a different animal. It's called the investigative task, and we'll talk more about that later. It's worth more than any question on the exam. By itself, it's worth 1/8 of the entire test score. So you want to make sure and give some good attention to question 6. Then, what students always ask me is, how well do I need to do to get a certain grade on the exam? How many points do I need to get a 5, or how many points do I need to get a 3? So we have an example for 2012. If you got 70 out of 100, that resulted in a 5. 57 out of 100 resulted in a 4. 44 out of 100 gave you a 3, and 33 out of 100 gave you a 2. Now, those distributions will change from year to year because exams are harder. Some exams are harder, some exams are easier. I just gave my students a practice exam from 2007 where the cutoff for a 5 was a 63. So that was comparatively a harder exam. The main message for both teachers and students, what you want to convey, is that the AP exam is harder than a typical classroom test. It covers, obviously, the entire year, and there's also a variety of questions. Some are easy, some are medium, and some are deliberately challenging. So you don't want to stress out over a question or two, even if it's a free response question. If a student misses part B or knows that they can't do part C on a question, it's definitely not the end of the world. There's a lot of room for missing questions here and there and still getting a really high score on the AP exam. So don't stress out. Know that in a typical year, 70 or 75 is going to get you a 5. 40, 45 points out of 100 is going to get you a 3. Knowing that, hopefully, will relieve some anxiety for students while they're taking the test.